Well, our French politics editor, Marc Perelman, is joining me here on set. I mean, Marc, it really is a vital moment for Marine Le Pen and for the national rally as well, isn't it?
Yes, she said the judges hold my political future in their hands, or my political death. This is how she put it. Obviously, she's under tremendous pressure. She wasn't expecting this, but the trial was a nightmare for her because clearly the evidence was there against her, and there is this condemnation. Yes, everyone talks about ineligibility. That's the key issue for her, the verdict that the judges are starting to read as we speak right now, 10 a.m. Paris time. But there's also a prison sentencing for her because the evidence is very damaging. But for her, the key issue and the focus is on the fact that whether or not she lodges an appeal, she might be prevented from running in 2027. And this is what she's hoping to avoid. And we've heard comments just now from political enemy, but also from several legal experts who said this immediate execution of the ineligibility is rather strange and rather exaggerated given the circumstances, because this is generally done if the person will act again in the way she acted before her condemnation, or if she might flee the country. So this kind of emergency context doesn't seem to be present in the case of Marine Le Pen. This is why she's hoping to avoid this quote-unquote death sentence for her. But obviously there's a lot of political pressure being put by Marine Le Pen, by her party, but also we've heard alleged remarks by the Prime Minister, François Bayrou, who feels that this would be very bad for French democracy if she was prevented from running. So this is not only about what's happening in the court, but what would happen then. And so this is why it is really a key moment, not only for Marine Le Pen, but for the future of French politics here.
Yeah, also, of course, as I sort of half said at the top there, for her party, what would the party do if she's not there? Is there a plan B?
Well, first of all, she's probably going to fight this in the courts, because one could expect that she will appeal today's judgment. The question is, when will there be an appeals trial? It tends to take time. People say 2026, but if it's the spring, it might be fine. If it's it's later on in the autumn, it might be too late, because we would already be in the campaign effectively for the 2027 presidential election, and she might lose that appeal, and so she might not be able to run. So even though the party says, no, Marine Le Pen is our candidate, we'll fight this to the very end, there is a plan B. Be like Jordan Bardella, whom Marine Le Pen essentially put at the helm of the party. He is the president of the National Rally. She is the head of the party's group at the National Assembly, but he is the nominal head of the party, and so he would be the plan B. The assumption was that he would become Marine Le Pen's prime minister if she wins the next presidential election. Well, some are saying there's a possibility that this might be flipped around, that Jordan Bardella would be the presidential candidate and Marine Le Pen could be a sort of prime minister. But obviously, this would be a very harsh pill to swallow for Marine Le Pen, because, yes, she likes Jordan Bardella very much, but she thinks the odds are clearly that she would be finally able to win the presidential election. And we don't know what would happen with Jordan Bardella. He's much less experienced than Marine Le Pen. Yes, he's popular. His book is selling very well. He's taking selfies right and left and so on. But this doesn't make really a presidential candidate. So obviously, yes, there is a plan B. That's a change from past instances where she was the overall leader. There was no heir and so on. Now they have a plan B, but still, it's much more of a gamble, because people know Marine Le Pen. She went through several presidential campaigns. Jordan Bardella is obviously only the head of the party. He led the party for legislative, European election, but never for a presidential election. That's a very, very different election.
Yeah, very, very